So for this video, I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit more about myself. This isn't scripted, this is just me talking to you. As you watch my content, I kind of just wanted you guys to understand exactly where I come from, more about my background, my history. So pretty much this video is about me. So now, who am I? My name is Lionel D. I'm 32 years old, based in Las Vegas, Nevada. My job, my career is I'm a fitness coach. I've been coaching since 2012. So I was an in-person trainer for 7 years until then when COVID hit, I had to make a big transition. I did what most people didn't. I bet on myself. Can I actually do it? Can I actually start an online business? Actually be successful at it? And for the past 5-6 years, it's been all right. It's had a lot of ups and downs. Personal, financial, you name it. It comes with the territory. But to be honest, I really wouldn't want to have it any other way. Now let me talk to you about where I come from, my backstory. So I didn't grow up like most people do. Big family, stable home. My parents got divorced or separated, whatever it is, when I was really young, about 4 or 5 years old. And since I can remember, we've moved place to place to place to place. I can't really think of a time where we lived at a place more than 6 months. I have 2 sisters. I also have a couple half siblings, but they never really prevalent in my life. So when we were growing up, my mom worked 2 jobs every single fucking day. From what I remember, she worked at the gas station for the most part of my life. But for the most part, she kind of just moved job to job. So we didn't really have a stable income. So we were living on it. Food stamps, EBT, government help. And a lot of my content I share about that I lived homeless majority of my life. I was homeless when I was 13, I was homeless when I was 16, and I was homeless when I was 19 when I was in college. When I was 13, my grandpa was a drunk. He was old school military, so it was pretty much his way or the highway. At the time, I was in football. And every summer, there was always this big fundraiser that we had to go help a certain local company and all that type of stuff. So for us, we had to go to this local ski resort and actually go clean the slopes and everything for the big rocks, right? So it was either that or go run this big ass hills of doing just sprints for I don't know. And I remember that when I watched the people that had to do that, it looked like hell because they were out there for 30 minutes to an hour just running up in this big ass hill. And it was a big ass hill. It was like 8 to 10 flights of stairs. And it was all dirt. And this is in Victorville. And if you know where Victorville is, it's the high desert. So there's fucking nothing around. So I asked my mom, I asked my grandma. They were cool with it. Like, okay, because we had to do chores every Saturday. So they're like, hey, go ask your grandpa. At this point in time of the night, he was already kind of drunk. And when I mean drunk, 12 to 24 beers in. So when I asked him, he just said no. He starts going on and on about the priorities of the house and everything like that. And you guys have to remember, I'm 13 at this time. My mom, my grandma, and him start getting a big argument. You just start hearing plates flying, all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Eventually it just got to the point where he walked into my room that I was sleeping in. He was just like, hey man, get the fuck out. And so at 13, that was the first time I ever had to sleep in the car. And I remember because my mom parked the car behind a Shell gas station and I had to sleep there. The fucked up part is I went to the fundraiser the next day, did all that type of stuff, had fun with my friends and all that. We drove back to my grandparents' house thinking everything was okay. We literally just pull up and he looks right at me, he's like, what are you doing here? You don't live here anymore. And so imagine telling that to a 13-year-old. So from 13, my whole freshman year, I was living place to place. I was living with my friends. I used to take 3 buses just to get to school. We're talking the first bus. So at 5 a.m. I would catch the first bus. It would take me to the mall in Victorville. I would catch a second bus, and that bus would take me to my school bus. So it would take me about 2 hours just to get to school every damn day. And then at night, I would take the same buses again. So picture at 13, really just going through this shit. At 16, it was my junior year of high school. My mom just got laid off. We were living in Section 8 housing. And if you know how Section 8 housing is, they pretty much base your rent off how much money your parent make, your person who has a lease, of their income. So during that time, my mom got laid off. And then they kind of give you a courtesy thing about to get a job and everything like that. Take note, this is around the 08, 09, 2000 recession and everything like that. So jobs are very scarce. And at the time, my mom was working at the Dollar Tree. So we get kicked out of there and I just start living with my friends. So during this time, I would live with my mom and my sister, and then I would live with my friends, just crashing the place, or I would just sleep at the park. It really, just depended on the day. I just remember having this conversation with my mom. She was living with her friend, and they had a 1-bedroom apartment, so they only had a room for my mom and my younger sister, who was in 4th, 5th grade at the time. And so I just remember I was like, hey, don't worry about me. Take care of my little sister. I'll figure it out. And so from my junior year of high school all the way to my senior year of high school, I was living at the park, sleeping with my friends. I would sneak in when their parents were to let me in. When they wouldn't let me in, my friends would be like, bro, it's cold out. Don't just let them go to sleep and then I'll let you in through the window. So I would legit they would sneak me in through the window and then I would sleep in the closet. And then I would, and then before or around the time when I wake up before all of them, and I'd just be really quiet. And then either we would wait for them to hop in the shower, or we would wait for them to leave, and then I would book it out the house and then run to the bus stop. And then yeah, so Yeah, that was my junior and senior year. And then 19, for me, 19 was the hardest. It was my junior year of college. And my first 2 years, I was living in the dorms. And for anyone who's ever lived in the dorms, it's very expensive. It's not glamorous, but you have a roof and you're on campus. And so after 2 years of doing that, I was just like, I just can't afford this. I'm gonna be taking out even more student loan. And so that summer, I'm in Las Vegas. I went to school in UNLV in Vegas. My friends would like let me crash at their house again. And so picture me at 19 being homeless again. I have a black JanSport backpack on with my interview clothes, walking down the streets of the hoods of Las Vegas just to try to find a fucking job. So we're talking about Boulevard Mall, we're talking about Sahara, we're talking about Maryland, we're talking about like the fuck hood of Vegas. Not the nice parts either. And so like my friends were very gracious enough to let me live, but I was making like $200 a month. And pretty much the deal was, hey bro, just if you can clean up and then help pitch in for like the electricity and stuff like that, that would be great. So I'll give him like $120 and then I would live off 80 for the month. And I did that for 4 months straight before I got my own place. And so that one was rough just because I didn't have anyone to turn to. Yeah, the 13 and 16 really sucked, but because we were broke and homeless our whole life, and we were poor, it kind of just felt normal to me. But when I moved away from my family and was kind of betting on myself to go to college and just do my own thing, well, I'm going to tell you, I was living off the 99-cent store and Top Ramen. That's exactly what I was living off of. Luxury dinners were Little Caesars pizzas. And so, you know, that summer I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Panda Express and this restaurant that just started up called Rumby Island Grill. I was making $9 an hour at Panda and I was making $8.25 at Rumby Island Grill. 2 weeks before school started, I finally got my own piece of shit apartment. Piece of shit apartment meant everything to me because I worked my ass off for it. Now my fitness story. So I grew up playing sports my whole life. It was kind of like my way to keep me out of trouble, but also I just generally enjoyed it. But when I really talk about my fitness journey, the version you guys see, I talk about mainly like I started my fitness journey when I was like 19. Now I really started about my fitness journey when I got in college. So in 2011, I graduated high school, got accepted to UNLV, just moved to campus. Life was starting to look in the up and up. But the worst possible thing at that point happened in my life. My grandma died. And for you guys, she's pretty much like, for most people, even for myself, she's pretty much like your second mother. So when I was homeless in Victorville, she would check in on me and try to help me out, give me cash, $20 here and there to kind of keep me going. And, you know, whenever I was in trouble, she was always kind of there and whenever I needed to talk to. And so during that time, like, you know, after she died, like I just fell into a big depression. I was 160 pounds when I got into college, and then I ballooned all the way to 250 pounds in like less than 6 months. And so for like a year there, I was just bullshitting. I was eating. I was just, you know, sad. And you got to remember, I'm 19 at this point, and I had no family to turn to. So freshman year ends, sophomore year starts. I just remember there was a point in time where I was like, I literally just gave up on life. I really wanted to end everything there. I was so much pain. I was failing. I just didn't really know how to really figure out anything. But I remember I was looking at myself in the mirror one day, and I remember, if you don't do something, you got one shot, bro. You got one fucking shot. And right now you're fucking it up. So either give up now or do something about it. And so I didn't have any money. I was broke as a joke. And so, I knew at that point in time, I knew I had to really get in shape. I really had to get in control of my health. So I just remember I just started going to the rec center every day. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was legit just doing the shit I did in football and basketball and all that type of stuff and what I saw on bodybuilding.com and Insanity and P90X and all this bullshit, right? I remember I would lose 20 pounds and then I would gain 20 pounds immediately. Like, I had the most worst diet. All I was doing was just drinking water and eating salads in my fucking dorm room. So the moment I had a French fry or a burger or anything like that, I would just balloon back up again. And for people who don't realize this, you're either a hard gainer or a hard loser. I'm a hard loser. I have to really dial it in to lose weight. And so I just remember I would just read article after article after article and really just try to learn exactly like, how do I actually lose weight properly? I remember I studied, I applied, I just tried a bunch of shit. I tried different workout plans, and like eventually things stick. You know, eventually you learn. I'm a very big advocate like of throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. I'm very big on you learn by doing, and fitness you learn by doing. And so like I go from like 160 to 250 in like 6 months, or give or take a couple more months, right? But then from fall 2012 to spring to that whole year, I went from. And I lost 98 pounds in a year. And throughout that time, I've been in shape, out of shape, amazing shape. But I think the beauty of fitness is like, there's not just one version of in shape. And throughout the years, I've learned that my body has changed and looked differently over time. From being 168 pounds, 8% body fat, to being 180, 10%, 12, 15% body fat. To hell, during COVID, when we had nothing to do, I was 230 pounds, fucking 30% body fat. But the beauty behind it is like, you get to keep trying over and over and over again. And so like, I just believe like, you can't fail if you never quit. So don't quit. Now, what fitness gave me? There are a lot of lessons that in my fitness journey that I learned, but I think the biggest lesson in fitness was the belief in myself, the internal confidence that I had to earn confidence. Like, I'm a big believer that even as a coach, I can't give you confidence. I can take it away though. You as a person build your internal confidence by doing. So if you're a basketball player and you're shooting 1,000 free throws a day, and in the game you start shooting one, you're probably gonna be very confident. So habitually, if you just start going to the gym, you don't have to like know everything. You don't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of it. But you just keep going. Number one, it's gonna be easy for you to go to the gym. Number two, you're gonna start loving it. Number three, you're going to start embracing it. And number four, you're going to start seeing the results you've been working your ass off for. You didn't get fat in one day. So quit expecting yourself to be in shape in a week, in a month, in 2 months. It's probably going to take twice as long. So if you gained 100 pounds in a year, probably going to take 2 years to actually lose it. Because holy fuck, that's a lot of weight. So number one, yeah, the belief in myself. Number two, the discipline to actually just go. For me, these days, going to the gym is very simple. When 12 o'clock hits, it's gym time. I don't have to think about it. It's just a part of the day. Number three, it's the biggest outlet I have in my life to get away from everything. For that hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. It's literally just me versus me. To this very day, it's the one thing in my life, that's never changed. I can have a great day, a bad day, a shitty day, an angry day, whatever the fuck it is. The likelihood of me going and feeling better, it's very, very likely. And that's why I'm a very, very big advocate for fitness. Now, how it became my career. So in 2015, I was supposed to graduate with my degree in criminal justice. I was 20 at the time. I literally just got accepted to the police academy. And I remember when I got the call, I was talking to the sergeant, I was talking to the captain, and they were like, hey man, congratulations, dude. I'm super excited. I'm super happy for you, man. You earned it. And I just remember I just wasn't excited for it. I remember I was like, oh, cool, thanks, bro. And then I remember that night I had a big heart-to-heart with myself. I was like, is this something you really want to do, bro? And I really had to sit with it. So I remember for like a week straight, I was just like on it. And maybe it was a Tuesday blues or maybe anything like that. But I just remember like, I just wasn't happy with it. And I worked the last 4 years of my life from being homeless to living in my piece of shit apartment with my roommates and everything like that to get this career. And I just wasn't excited for it. And so at the time I was already personal training, but I wasn't doing it seriously yet. I was kind of training people for free. I was doing it for food. I was training some people for super cheap, trying to really hone my craft. And you have to remember, this is 2015, like, personal training was just some random dude that you did on the side at your local Gold's Gym or 24-hour fitness. No one really thought of it as a career. And so I remember I called like literally a week later and I was like, hey Sergeant, hey Catherine, hope you guys are a great day, blah, blah. And pretty much I rejected the offer. And that wasn't a great conversation. That's for a whole different time. Long story short, they wasn't happy. They hung up the phone on me. Literally that same day, I went to the counselor and I was like, hey, I want to change my major. And she was wondering, she said, why? And she's like, she was like, why? And I was like, I really just want to get into a career I'm happy with. I knew I really love fitness, but I just didn't know anything about it. So I remember I changed my major like 4 times in like less than like 6 months. First it was physical therapy. Then it was public health. Then it was strength conditioning. And then I just finished with the general kinesiology degree, right? I remember when I switched to physical therapy, me and my friend were shadowing and he was like super into it. And I was just bored out of my mind. And so I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. So I went to public health thinking it was something different. I then realized it was a bunch of research and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me either. And then I remember when I switched to strength conditioning, oh my God, it was so much fun. I got to train athletes, all this type of good stuff, right? Now I'm not against it, but there is a long delayed gratification period to get to where you want to get to. And what you got to realize is that most people who are in strength conditioning are probably training people for free, or like they're doing it for free. So unless you're at the D1 level or the pro level, you're probably not making a lot. And so if you see people D2, D3, high school and things like that, they ain't making nothing. They're probably doing it just for the love of it, trying to get an opportunity to move up, or they're kind of just doing it for a part-time job. And I just remember that one of my mentors sat me down and was like, hey man, like if you want to do this, it's going to be X, Y, and Z. And so I had a conversation. I was like, hey, I'm not going to pursue this. And everything kind of just revolted back to personal training for me. I was already doing it. I just didn't know how to like make it into a career or business. And so what ended up happening was I started training people for free just for proof of concept, men and women. I then started working at a private gym. That really didn't work out so well because it was more like a boutique gym and it just wasn't my cup of tea. And also I just didn't get along with the owner. I then went back to being private. I then graduated with my bachelor's in kinesiology. I needed a job, and so I started working at EOS Fitness when it was first starting out. So if you're in Nevada, if you're in California, Utah, Florida, you see EOS Fitness. I worked for them for 3 years. And so for majority of my clientele, I probably trained about 700 to about 1,000 people since 2012. You divide that up, that's about 60 people a year. Majority of them were in person. So there was a point in time I used to be at the gym at 8 a.m. and I would leave at 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. But now since I've transitioned online, I'm able to help a certain demographic. So right now I help primarily men who are Mexican or Filipino over their 30s. They work 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks. They're killing it in their career and their family life, but their health is kind of taking a back burner. And now being online, I'm able to help people around the world. If I was in person, I'd be stuck with about 20 miles worth. Now, why am I starting YouTube? The main reason why I'm starting YouTube is I get to connect with people I don't know yet. And also, I get to talk some shit. JK, I really just get to speak what's on my mind and really connect with, from heart to heart, with you guys. And there's so much things I want to say that I can't say in a 15 to 30 second reel. So on the channel, I really just want to talk to you guys about fitness, business, life, the mistakes I've made, the things that I would do differently, you know, like really connecting with you guys more at a human to human level. And so what should you expect from me? Some videos will be me talking, some videos will be me ranting. It could be fitness, it could be me working out, vlogging, personal stories, just things like that. I'm not really a big fan of big editing, so expect more of these human-to-human conversations. And if there's one thing you can get from me, you don't have to have everything figured out. You just gotta be willing to listen, to learn, and to have fun along the journey. So yeah, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned a little bit about myself. If you can, please like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see y'all later.